Hello and welcome to the demo video for the Google Analytics report. This is an update of a spreadsheet that I've done. So if you're looking at this thinking yours doesn't look like this, then yeah, you might want to open the demo on YouTube. That will be the demo that matches your particular version. This is a remake since Google Analytics 4 came out. Now, Google Analytics 4 is dependent on the data that it exports from your dashboard, your Google dashboard, and yours might be different to the one that I've got. I did take the default one that I received from Google, hoping that other people might have the same dashboard, unless you've changed it. But you just need to make sure that you are in fact collecting the right bits of data. I'll show you what's required, and then hopefully you can set up your Google dashboard to match that if you want to use the spreadsheet. Otherwise, if all else fails, if you want a spreadsheet that analyzes your Google Analytics, you can always send me a copy of yours, your dashboard data, and I can make one specifically for you. But if you want to use this one, you're going to need to make sure that you're collecting the right data. I'll get to what data is required in the meantime. On the first page, just simply select the month and input the year for the starting 12-month period. So the spreadsheet will last you for 12 months, and then just keep a blank copy, use a new blank copy every 12 months. So put in the starting month and the starting date. If you see two green ticks there, that means that it's accepted what you put in. And then if you come to the data entry, you can see the dates down the left here will be set up according to your selected dates, and these months across the top will all be set up. So I've already done January, February, March. I'm going to do April now to show you. So I've got all the data down here to the end of March, and then starting 1st of April, I need the data. And then all the data in this April column, I have yet to bring and put into the spreadsheet. So let me show you how to do that. First of all, what we need the daily users, new users, and average engagement time. And then we need the source of the new users, the source of all sessions, which is all the users, the events, countries, and if we scroll down beyond the countries, then we've got the pages viewed. Now, the pages viewed, there are 220 rows available. The countries, there are 220 rows available. The events, 15, and the two sources, each 10 rows. So I'll show you where to get the information, but what you've got to make sure is if yours by some chance has more than 10 rows, just copy the first 10 rows. Google usually ranks them, so it'll put the most popular one, the ones with the higher numbers at the top. So you might lose one or two with very small numbers, but I've tried to leave enough rows to accommodate most kind of reasonable use. So let's have a look how we do this. If I go to my Google Analytics dashboard, this is where you actually end up. Let's just go there into the home. So you'll end up on a home page like that. If you go to the left and click on reports, then it takes you to these reports. And as you can see, I've got the users, new users, average engagement time, etc. So this one has got that. It's got the new users, where they're coming from, the sessions, where they're coming from, breakdown by country, and then views by page. And then over here we've got the event count. These are the ones, the events that I'm using. So that's got the right data that I need, but obviously yours might be different. So this is where you need this, and on that home page is where you maybe need to adapt yours and bring in what you need in to match what's needed for the spreadsheet. But now what I do is I go to the date here and I select from April. So once April's finished, all of April's data is available. And then I go from the 1st to the 30th and I say apply. And then all the graphs and all these numbers all reset according to the month of April. And I just go to share, file download, and a CSV. And that downloads a data export, which looks like this. It should open up, which is not particularly useful in the sense of what it does, but it's just listed all the numbers down the left-hand side. It's got different headers, so you know which data sets are for which, where they go in the spreadsheet. So if I actually just make half that one, pop that in there, and let's select that date. But what is going on here? Let's have a look at this. So we've got the first data set. It says from the nth day 0, so that's just from the from the first day. If you check these out, because it's got 29 or 30 days. So this is from the first day. So we go from the users down to the bottom. If we select those, that's 30 days. And we go to over here, the users. Right click here, paste values. Not normal paste. That'll paste all the formatting from the first spreadsheet. We just want to paste values. Paste the values. You can see now it goes up to the 30th of April. So we've got April's values in, and now we need the new users. And if you scroll down on this sheet, the next one is the new users. So we do exactly the same thing again. Copy, come back here, paste values. And then next we're looking for the average time, and underneath there, average engagement time. Copy, paste values. So that is all of the daily figures in. Now all we need to do is go down this column here for April and put in these different batches. So I keep scrolling the wrong way. If we go down here, the first one, new users, where do they come from? Now this time we don't do just the values, we actually collect the data as well, because these are going to change locations. So we select both of those, paste values there. There's the source and account. And the next one's per session, same thing, copy that. Right click, paste values into there to all sessions. The next one is the events. We'll come back to the events because that's actually at the bottom. So we go down to countries. We scroll down. It first gives you the country codes, which I've decided not to use. We rather just use these ones because it's got the country names. Otherwise, you've got to assign names to all the different codes. And if we copy that, and we come to the country names and we say right click, paste values. There's the countries. And these are the ones, specifically the page name, probably. The page name would be next. If you skip out that batch, here we get to the page names. You might have more than 220. So if you actually just do that, plus the values, and you press Shift Control and down to the bottom, you can see this is 196. So that's actually double. So if that gets to 440, then you're in a little bit of trouble over 440, because you're not going to have enough space. Then you just have to pick the first ones. If I paste values in there, I've just got to go back up to that event, which was over here. Where's the event? There. The event was at the bottom. That's why I can't find it. You scroll down beyond the, there we go. Event, page views, there's his event count. If I copy those, right click, paste values. Okay, now we can close that one up. We've got all the information that we need. And when I go to the dashboard, you can see it actually tells you what information I've collected. So when we get into, for example, June, then May will pop up with a whole bunch of red crosses, and I can go and collect May's data and pop May's data in over here and underneath, and keep on going on. Now, there is another tab. There's a country replacement tab. And the reason I've got that country name replacement is if you scroll down the countries, every now and then you'll find that they throw a wobbly like that. And that's actually supposed to be the Ivory Coast. So if I actually just type in it flags up red because it can't find it, because it says that there's a problem. But that's just because you've selected it and you haven't given it a new name. So if I say Ivory Coast, then it disappears. Everything's cool. It now changes that name with Ivory Coast, which means that when you go to reports and stuff, you don't have all these funny characters and stuff showing up in the names. You can just do that. So you can actually, if you find that there's one with a funny character, just come and select it here and then pop it in as a new country name, and that would solve that problem. Then we can go, there's two reports that this creates, the analytics report and the dashboard report. So the analytics report is quite comprehensive. As you can see, it gives all the total users, total time spent, etc. These are all the users versus new users per month. This is the average engagement time per month. And when you get down here, you can select what you'd like to show. And these all come from the activities. You go click first visit form, page scroll, the user engagement, etc. Personally, I'm interested in the page view, so you click that and it'll populate this graph. Scroll down, you can see where all the visits are coming from, overall breakdown for the year to date, but also each month where they're coming from. You can also see the new users, where they're coming from each month. If you scroll down here, you can also see which of these would you like to view, direct, organic search, etc. So if I say, well, direct, that just shows that 65% of all my visitors in January were direct. So you can isolate one of them to have a look at that report. If I scroll down here, I've got page views. This is, you can select any one of those activities here to actually populate. So it gives me page views, what the primary event, what have I set to page views, what's the best in the month, total for the year, etc. All the figures, as well as the monthly figures, as well as the average page views per user. And again, if you were to select that to, for example, user engagement, it will give the average engagement per user. It will adjust the formula. Here you can see improvement or design over the month. Decline in red, improvement would be in green. Mine have been dropping, so they're all in red. And then for pages viewed, you can select 10 pages, any of those 10 pages, and it shows those 10 pages. Here it shows you the primary one, the most viewed page. It shows you the number of pages viewed each month. But then as you scroll down, it shows you the ones that you've selected as a portion of all of them. So the gray ones here are all the ones I haven't selected. So you can see here that those 10 pages I've selected makes up pretty much 50% of all of my views. So that gives you a breakdown. Same with the countries. You can select a featured country, which is obviously my home country, but then you can also select up to 10 other pages. So you can see the reports of the featured, but here you can see a breakdown of all those views that have come from the countries that I've selected. And that's it as far as the report's concerned. I've done it in a way that you can go to the view page break and you can actually save it as a PDF. You can come to page break and drag these borders because this is set up to a printer, so yours might be different. But the idea was to do that as to be able to save this as a PDF. But then also, some of the key figures also feed through to a dashboard, so you can see the users versus new users, engagement time, the direct visitors, where they the page views, and also the page views because that's the one I've selected in the report. I'm going to break down by country and your overall breakdown also by country. So you can see where a direct where it's coming from, all the rest of it, all on your dashboard, and then a breakdown by country, some key graphs, but all of this and more is obviously on the report, so you can have a look in detail. And then this just checks that the data is all looking correct, and this just has a look to see that you've got everything, and will warn you if you don't. So yeah, quite a bit of a whirlwind tour. If that makes sense to you, obviously have a look at the graphs in more detail, have a play around once you put some data in, check it out that it's doing what it ought to. But yeah, that should be that. So if you are using the spreadsheet, I wish you all the best. As I say, if you want something custom made, do get in touch and we can chat about that. Otherwise, all the best with your website. Thank you very much and goodbye.